Hello everyone and welcome to my 10 things I love most about Germany video. So I'm here today in Hamburg, which is Germany's second largest city, and it also is my favorite city in Germany. So behind me you can see the Rathaus, which is the city hall of the city of Hamburg. But as Hamburg is actually also a city-state, it is basically the parliament and senate of the city-state of Hamburg. So yeah, let's begin and tell you the first thing that I love about Germany, and that is the people. I find the people here to be very friendly. I find them to be also very honest and direct. Now, this might come off as rude to some people, it might put off some people, but personally I appreciate it because it means that you know where you stand with people. So, for example, I'm from Canada, and one of my friends once told me that, and it's pretty much true. So in Canada, for example, if you go to a party and someone tells you, hey, it was really nice meeting you, I'll call you tomorrow. Well, they may call you, they may not. It doesn't necessarily mean that they like you. But in Germany, when people say, I'll call you tomorrow, it means that they will actually call. Of course, you shouldn't maybe fully generalize, but I do think that people tend to be quite honest, direct, and dependable, and it's something that I really like. Now, I have to add actually that having lived in different parts of Germany, I have noticed differences, how the people are. And there are regions where, I don't know, I tend to like the people more. Of course you can't generalize, there are nice people from everywhere, but from the mentality, I think I get along with more with maybe perhaps people with different regions. Now, I'm not going to mention which regions these are in this video. I don't want it to then get hate messages for that, but yeah, it's just kind of my personal opinion. But generally I find people to be great, and yeah, that's basically my first thing. And yeah, I'll list some things, and then maybe we can also see a bit of Hamburg in the process. So the second thing that I really love about Germany is just how beautiful the cities here are. I mean, look at this. This is the Aster Lake in Hamburg, and it's right in the middle of the city. And you can go jogging around it, you can go by bike, you can go for a relaxed stroll, or you could go by boat, as a lot of people do. And there are so many absolutely gorgeous cities in this country. There are some that aren't as nice, of course, but there's just so much to explore. And I really urge people that come here to not just stay in one city, but just go from city to city and explore different places, and don't just stay in the touristic areas, but go out there, explore. There's just so much to see, and it's just absolutely, yeah, wonderful. Now, one thing that I actually forgot to add is that you shouldn't just explore the cities, but you should also explore the regions. There are a lot of areas of natural beauties, whether you go to the mountains or you want to go to the sea. There's really a lot you can see. And the really cool thing actually is that because the public transportation system here is so good, you can explore things very easily. The third thing that I really like about Germany, and this is also connected to the whole thing about how nice the cities are basically how the cities are planned. So you have a lot of streets that are pedestrian zones, like the one that you basically see behind me, and you have people sitting at cafes and enjoying the time there, and it's something that's a lot of German cities have. So pretty much every single German city has a pedestrian zone. And it's not just that, it's also the public transportation that you have here that's generally quite reliable. And this is actually something that makes German cities very attractive because it feels like the cities are made for the people rather than just being made for cars. I'm here at Mönckebergstraße, which is one of the main shopping streets here in Hamburg. And if you look here, you actually see that the shops are closed. And the reason is that, shops are basically closed on Sundays here. And this brings me to the fourth thing that I love most about Germany, is that it's not as consumer oriented as Canada or the US, for example. And now this might annoy some people that they can't go shopping, like even grocery shopping. And sometimes I'm annoyed that I can't go grocery shopping on Sundays, but on the other hand, I actually love this, and a lot of the people that I know also find this to be a really good thing. The reason is that, instead of, going shopping, people then go out to parks and bars and restaurants, and the cities seem more vibrant. The shopping streets are emptier than usual, but, the parks and promenades they have just more people. And it's a part of the lifestyle that I really like here, and that the focus is not just about shopping, but also, enjoying life, being with friends, you know, and doing basically the things that matter in the end. So I'm standing here near the Elbphilharmonie, the Elbe Philharmonics Hall, which is quite an impressive building. And so this basically leads me to talk about the fifth thing that I love about Germany, which is culture. There's just so much culture here, whether it's museums, castles, palaces, festivities. There is just so much to see and do in this country. And you find that, you know, across the country in big cities, small towns. You can see that all over the place. And one of the things that I also really like is that people here are really generally interested in culture more than maybe other places that I have been to. And yeah, it's also, you know, you can also see that the government also invests a lot in cultural venues, for example. And yeah, that is basically the fifth thing that I really find to be totally great. So we are back in front of the Rathaus, the city hall, and the, as I mentioned, the state parliament and senate of the city-state of Hamburg. And yeah, this basically brings us to the sixth thing that I really love about Germany, which is kind of the political system here and also the interest that people have in politics. So in Germany, when you go vote in an election, for example, a federal election or a state election, it basically tends to be a system of proportional representation. So it's not kind of the, you know, two-party system you have in the US, or kind of the first past the post system that you have in Canada and the UK, where the person who gets the most votes in the district get the seat. But it really tries to be proportional. So if you vote for parties such as, you know, small parties such as the Green Party or the Left Party, then you actually have a chance of getting into parliament. And I think this is something that also makes people here a bit more excited about politics. Now, another aspect of this interest in politics in Germany is the media. So the media in Germany tends to be more policy focused than what you would find generally in the US and Canada. And this is something that I really find absolutely incredible. So I'm actually standing right in front of the headquarters of the Norddeutsche Rundfunk, so the North German Broadcasting Corporation. And here in Hamburg is where the news show Tagesschau is made, which is one of the most popular news broadcasts in Germany. It probably is the most popular, actually. And the thing is, when you watch that, it's very different than when you watch something like CNN or MSNBC or Fox News, where, you know, you see that they are trying to kind of make the story seem sometimes more dramatic than they actually are. But here the media really sounds more policy focused. The moderators sound calmer. That is not to say that there is no bias at all. I mean, you always find bias in media, but I think in Germany generally the media is just not as sensationalist. At least the public broadcasters aren't as sensationalist as what you would find in some other countries. The seventh thing that I love about Germany are the social policies that you have here. So behind me you see the main building of the University of Hamburg, and if you would like to study here, you can actually study for free. That's right, it doesn't matter if you're German or if you come from any other country. So all German states actually do not have tuition fees, with the exception of Baden-Württemberg and North Rhine-Westphalia, which have tuition fees for foreigners. Now, of course, this is something that could change in the future in some of the states, but this is something that I find really quite incredible. That, you know, the fact that Germans can study for free is already something that's quite amazing, but to give that to other people of other nationalities, I think that shows, you know, more of a long-term thinking. And this doesn't just include things like education. So you also have very high quality universal health care. You have very good subsidies for things like transportation. And this is something that I really, really appreciate here. So the eighth thing that I really love about Germany is kind of the culture of being outside, you know, going out to cafes or bars or restaurants, and that's, of course, maybe in the winter it's not so much the case, but in the summer you find this, you know, everywhere, that people are outside, they're enjoying their time. Sometimes you see an event like this, like a white dress dinner, I guess, kind of event, but then, you know, you always see then different places with just really nice cute cafes, places with really cool bars, places with great restaurants. So it's just always, you find so many of these streets in German cities. The ninth thing I love is the bread here, and well, I mean the food in general. So I'm standing in front of a bakery. This is just one of many bakeries, and you find them all over the place. And in Germany you have an amazing variety of bread that you don't find in most places. And the thing is, I remember, you know, when going back to Canada the last time and I had some bread, I thought to myself, okay, you know, what is this? Like in comparison to what you find in Germany, it really is quite different. And of course, it's not only the bread, it's food in general. You have so many amazing baked goods. And I think it also has to do with the fact that Germany is surrounded by other European countries that have all these amazing foods to offer. So when you're here, definitely try out different things, and remember that there are also a lot of regional varieties of things that you can try out. So I am here right now in the Hafen City district, which is a very modern district right next to the historic Speicherstadt district, and what you see behind me are just different office buildings. And this brings me to the 10th thing that I love here, which is the working culture here. So workers in Germany have a lot more protections than in many other places. And for example, you know, while in Canada we have, you know, 10 days, so by law 10 days minimum of vacation, in the US I believe it differs by state, but I think some states have even 0 days of paid vacation. In Germany you have a minimum of either 20 or 24 days. It's a bit confusing actually, and you know, I find this really great. And you know, people here kind of don't realize that there are places where you actually have less vacation days. And I think this whole idea of giving workers, you know, days to rest, you know, so that they can recuperate, you know, I think that's more forward thinking than just saying no, you have to work all the time, because I don't think people will be so productive if you don't give them a chance to kind of recuperate. That's the end of the video. Those were the 10 things I love the most about Germany. If you like this video, I'd be very happy to get some comments or some likes, or if you could subscribe. So this hopefully won't be, this was my first YouTube video, and hopefully it won't be the last one. So the next one I hope to maybe talk about the 10 things that I dislike about Germany. But if you have also ideas of what you'd like to find out about Germany, if there are some topics that specifically interest you, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section, and yeah, I'd be happy hopefully to answer some of your questions. I'll try to make as many videos as possible, but yeah, for that I mean, if only if there is enough interest, I suppose. But yeah, so go ahead.